I'm just gonna say I'm sorry about the audio. I'm not well known for my audio being great, obviously, but I'm just warning you. Gardening. There's gardeners at my place right now. Sprucing up the area. So that's what you're hearing in the background, on top of the normal noise. I'll hopefully be able to solve the noise problem within a couple months. I don't have uh, everything I need really to solve that at the moment, but this video is completely unscripted, as the last video I've done also was, and I wasn't planning on making a video on Sora from Kingdom Hearts today. I just watched this one video. I'm not going to link or mention who it's by because I don't want to throw any shade towards them, but it's filled with that was filled with nothing but I don't want to say lies, because they weren't being mean intended really. They were just spreading the information that they had heard over and over again, because it is very common misinformation. But the Sora and Smash has always been plagued with a lot of misconceptions, and I wanted to clear that up real fast. Down the line, I'll probably make a Smash Legacy video. I'll probably make a Smash Legacy video on Sora as well, probably down the line, and it'll be a lot more scripted and formal. But I just wanted to get this right here out of the way, because it's been bugging me, and I needed to make this video. So I have a couple of bullet points I have written down next to me that I'm just going to go over rather fast, and go in hopefully as much order that makes sense. So the first point that's often brought up with Sora is Square Enix, the company behind Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, and Kingdom Hearts, for the most part, was very difficult to work with. Now, I made a whole video on this topic alone already, and it's one of my most prideful videos. I really like how that video came out. If you haven't checked it already, check it right there. I go into a lot greater detail. But the long and short of it is that Square Enix was actually one of the easier companies for Sakurai to work with when it comes to Smash Bros. And that it just sort of spread up as a rumor that Cloud was difficult to get back into Smash, and that rumor was in fact incorrect. And it's kind of weird that people actually believed that rumor, considering that was after Ultimate was shown off with Cloud in it, before most of the fighters. But yeah, go check out that video that I made. I go into a lot greater detail. There's a lot more interesting stuff, including why Cloud only got 2 music tracks. Yeah, check that video, please. I like that video. Anyways, the next part is who owns Sora, because Square Enix, while they may be the easiest to work with when it comes to Smash, that doesn't necessarily mean anything when the real ownership of who owns Sora, as well as the rest of the Kingdom Hearts series, is Disney. Disney is the sole owner of Kingdom Hearts. This was explained in an interview with the YouTuber HMK, as well as the Vice President of Disney Japan, Justin Scarpone. And I don't know if I mentioned this, but I'll have everything that I mentioned linked in the description. So, we already know for a fact that Disney 100% owns Sora, as well as the rest of Kingdom Hearts. This has been a thing we've known about since 2002 with the first Kingdom Hearts game, as there was many interviews mentioning it back then, as well as the copyright on the box even saying that. But it's been a lot more clear nowadays with that interview with Justin Scarpone. And then, when people hear that Disney solely owns Sora, they're relieved that Square Enix isn't involved, even though they were easier to work with. But that still leaves Disney. And Disney, I will admit, is very notorious for being very difficult to work with. Now, what surprised me, though, is Disney and Nintendo have a very, very long relationship. And Nintendo only exists today because Disney got involved 60 years ago. Disney actually saved Nintendo when Nintendo was a failing card company. They were manufacturing gambling cards, and then Disney actually hired Nintendo to make gambling cards of their characters. And this deal actually saved Nintendo, which later on went to save the gaming industry as a whole. So really, you have Disney to thank for every single game that is released in the West since 1960, which is pretty much every video game, almost. And that's not the only thing they've done. Disney and Nintendo have actually been working together for almost the entirety of that 60-year spread. There's been multiple Mickey Mouse games that Disney has made, or that Nintendo has made, and Nintendo often gets to use Mickey Mouse for a very, very low price. For example, the Marvel Ultimate Alliance, Nintendo didn't make that, but they were the publishers, and the exclusive publishers at that. So, Disney is letting Nintendo use their most profitable properties right now. What makes people think that Sora was maybe in the millions compared to Marvel's billions of dollars would be difficult to work with? And not only that, but we even have explicit statements from Disney that they want Sora in Smash. The idea that Disney would be difficult to get Sora in Smash has been explicitly stated to not be the case before. They've said that in the same interview where Justin Scarpone explicitly stated that Disney owns Sora, but also the head of the games department for Disney has said before, I believe it was last year, that they want more companies to take advantage of their IPs and tell original stories or just expand on what properties they have. So that would fit Smash Bros. Disney's wanting more games to use their stuff. And before I forget, Disney has an exclusive Switch dock. Like, Nintendo has very few docks for Switch that aren't Nintendo oriented, but one of the few that there are of is Disney. Disney has their own Switch version, and people somehow think that Disney and Nintendo hate each other. It doesn't make sense. But outside of the legal mumbo jumbo, what else what do people say Sora has going against him? My next bullet point on here is that it'd be kind of hard to represent Kingdom Hearts without the Disney properties. And this one, I can see where they're coming from, but at the same time, we've seen multiple times that that's not the case. You see, Kingdom Hearts started out as a Disney Square Enix crossover, that much is true, but since then, even the director of the series, Tetsuya Nomura, has stated that Kingdom Hearts stands on its own nowadays. There is no more need for its crossover roots. And we can already see that in a lot of different appearances. There's the multiple appearances Sora has made in the Final Fantasy games that don't have Disney characters in it. Like, there's no Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, or Goofy in Final Fantasy World of... I forget what the world of... the Ultimate stuff. World of Ultima, I think it's called. And it's on Switch, but, you know. There's no Mickey, Donald, or Goofy in Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, or Record Keeper, Crystal Chronicles. Or, no, Crystal Chronicles doesn't have Sora in it, but you get the point. Sora's been in many things without Disney roots. And there's even been Kingdom Hearts games and movies with no references to Final Fantasy or Disney. It's just Kingdom Hearts by itself. A good example of this is the Union Cross back cover movie. That has absolutely zero references to Mickey Mouse, Donald, or Goofy. And then, not to mention, you can't represent Disney in the merch. There's tons and tons and tons of Kingdom Hearts merch with absolutely no Disney represented. There's even a statue of Sora in Disneyland, Japan. That one's kind of... the statue's of Sora alone, but it's in Disneyland, so that one's kind of... that's still technically Disney representation in there. But... what else is there? There's the Kingdom Hearts train stations in Japan that have... there's a lot of Kingdom Hearts train stations, and some of them don't even have any Disney stuff in it. So, not to mention, Smash already has Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest, which are Square Enix properties. which already represents the Kingdom Hearts crossover aspects. And then the next point is that Kingdom Hearts is not on Switch. Now, this argument has always befuddled me because ever since Super Smash Bros. Brawl with third parties was introduced, there's been no inkling that we need to have a Switch game in order to get a character in Smash. Snake, the very first third-party character, was added to Brawl when Metal Gear Solid 3 was exclusive to PS3 and Xbox 360. And we still got Metal Gear Solid 4 songs in Smash. There was 0 Metal Gear games on the Wii. And a lot of people say, oh, but he was playing for Melee and Twin Snakes was on GameCube. Sure, but there was 0 Wii games for Metal Gear. And then for Sonic, he was known for the rival to Mario, and he had only recently gone to Nintendo platforms. Which, fair enough, that does kind of add to the argument that you need to be on Nintendo systems. But you know who doesn't add that? Joker. You see, this one's in a little bit of a gray area because in America, there was absolutely no announcement of a Switch, 3DS, Wii U, any type of Persona game coming to a Nintendo system that had Joker in it. But in Japan, Persona Q2, a 3DS game that had Joker in it, was already out before Joker was announced for Smash. And that's a little bit of gray area, but at the same time, that wasn't Joker on the Switch, and some people still say that you have to be on the Switch in order to be in Smash. Which also doesn't really apply to Sora, seeing as if a 3DS game was enough to get Joker into Smash, then there's many Kingdom Hearts games on Nintendo platforms, including the 3DS. But that doesn't even go into something that just got announced officially today. Kingdom Hearts Melodies of Memory. And that was leaked a little while ago that it was coming to Switch, and sure enough, the trailer that released today announced that it was in fact coming to Nintendo Switch. So we already have a Kingdom Hearts game coming to Switch, and it's coming this year, not even that late. And my own personal speculation is that they made that game using assets from the All-in-One collection, which is every game, and that they're going to be porting that to Switch, and that's why it's on Switch as well. But that's completely different. I might make a video on that another day. But yeah, the argument that Sora can't be in Smash because he's not on a Nintendo system is super flawed. I mean, there's multiple Nintendo systems that are themed after Kingdom Hearts. There was a Kingdom Hearts-based Game Boy Advance, a Kingdom Hearts-based 3DS, and a Kingdom Hearts-based DS. But outside of that, Sora does have some sort of things that do lead him to that he's likely to be in Smash that aren't used as an argument against him. They're not super big, like this means he's for sure going to be in, but there's a couple of things that Sora has that make it so that he is more likely than not. So the first thing is this big Hashimoto tweet. Shinji Hashimoto is the sort of guy that got Kingdom Hearts as a thing kicked off. He's the one that met with the Disney executives to get Kingdom Hearts started. And he actually said on Twitter that he wanted Sora in Smash. Now, his wording made it seem like he meant that Sora was in Smash at that point, and that he deleted it afterwards, which made a lot of people, including myself, think that Sora was going to be in Smash, which is something that he has done before. But this, at this point, is more than not likely meaning that he's just supportive of the idea, which is a good thing, although it's kind of irrelevant seeing as he's a Square Enix employee and he wouldn't be involved with Kingdom Hearts and Smash. And he's not the only person to say that he wants Sora in Smash that has worked on the project. Like I said before, Disney as a collective has said that they want Sora in Smash and that Nintendo's the only one that needs to give them a call. It's not so direct, but the director of Kingdom Hearts as well as Sakurai himself were in an interview when they were adding Cloud to Smash 4, and in that interview they said that they wanted to work together again, most likely on another Smash game. And really, there's only two options two characters that Nomura created that would really lend to Smash Bros. One of them being Neku, which I personally would really enjoy and honestly want more than Sora, and also Sora. So Nomura and Sakurai have said that they wanted to work together again, and there's only two real characters that Nomura has worked on that could get into Smash. I guess Noctis from Final Fantasy is also an option, as well as maybe Titus, but I don't see either of those getting in. It's pretty much down to Neku and Sora in terms of his characters. But yeah, those two have said that they wanted to work together again sometime soon. And then for the 15th anniversary of Kingdom Hearts, there was a Famitsu that had a bunch of interviews from people that worked on the series, and strangely enough, one of the people that were interviewed for that didn't actually get their hands on a Kingdom Hearts project. They weren't on Kingdom Hearts at all. Was Sakurai, and he was the only one to not have worked on Kingdom Hearts in that interview. And he actually said that he's a massive fan of Kingdom Hearts, and it inspired his own crossover in a little way. And that's kind of important considering games that Sakurai likes and have influenced Smash in some way tend to get in. I'm not saying that this guarantees that Sora's in for sure. I mean, this interview was about 3 years ago, I believe. But think about it, when it comes to, at the very least, Fighter Pass 1, Joker was, Sakurai stated, was a direct influence on Super Smash Bros. Ultimate's UI and the menu designs. And he was a very big fan of Persona as well. Dragon Quest, Sakurai stated that he's wanted for a very long time and that he's a really big fan of Dragon Quest 3. So, that, not to mention, Dragon Quest has a major influence on most of the characters in Smash. If Dragon Quest didn't exist, most of the characters in Smash wouldn't either. And Banjo-Kazooie, the third character in the Fighter Pass, has been a massive fan request for the longest time, and has even led towards Microsoft and Nintendo interacting more and more. Obviously, Minecraft has been a lot more of a major player in that regard, but Banjo did technically get that started on the GBA. For Terry, that one kind of goes without mention. Terry's the direct predecessor to Smash Bros. Itself. Sakurai invented Super Smash Bros. As a response to him beating a couple in King of Fighters. And if Terry didn't exist, none of Smash Bros. Would exist either. The last character is a little more of a lax on influencing Smash, but it also sort of represents how Smash influences other games. And Byleth, as a Fire Emblem character, pretty much owes their existence nowadays to Smash in a way. And now, really, Fire Emblem without Smash would probably be in a very similar position as it is now, considering it was pretty much a failure after Melee, and only really started off exploding in popularity with Awakening, which was going to be the last game. But Byleth, Sakurai chose because he wanted a character that people would be playing at the same time as Smash. And Fire Emblem just so happened to be that game that lined up perfectly. Now, I don't think that this means that Sora's guaranteed to be in this Fighter's Pass. None of this really is that opinion. I don't think that he's guaranteed to be in Smash, but people who think that Disney and Square Enix and Nintendo themselves would get in the way of getting Sora in Smash, they aren't very well researched. And honestly, if you could just point them towards this video and maybe some of the links in the description, that'd be great, because then they can be more informed. And I'm not throwing any shade at those people, but it's not too hard to do a little research to see if these claims that people have are actually factual or not. Again, not throwing shade at anyone who thinks that Sora's unlikely, or that he's not in, or that these people would get in the way of Sora. Just be a little more researched ahead of time instead of making videos like the one I mentioned in the beginning of this one. Again, links in the description to everything I mentioned in here. There's a couple more interesting stuff about Disney and Smash Bros. I actually did a crossover that I'm really proud of, and it was one of my favorite videos to have worked on. That also reminds me, going back to the hard to represent section for just a quick second, Mickey Mouse was actually in Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Like, Disney, it's not like they can't put in Disney characters, really. They've done it in Brawl. They could theoretically do an Ultimate. I don't think they're going to. I think that Brawl was a one-time thing with that, especially considering it was in the Chronicles mode. But yeah, Disney wouldn't be hard to work with, and they could represent Disney very well, easily. But back to what I was saying. This video was not out of malice. It wasn't ill intent. It was just to be more informed. So this video's not going to be edited. It's just information with links in the description. I implore you, please check out the links. If you think I misspoke about anything, if I missed anything, please mention in the comments. I know that there's a ton of stuff that Sora and Smash Bros. Have in their links together, but that'll probably be saved for, like I said, the Smash Legacy video on Sora that I'll do way down the line. The next Smash Legacy video is on track. I just have to record and edit it. I have it all scripted out, and should be ready by Friday. I think I'm on time with that, but yeah, just stay safe out there. Have fun with whatever it is that you're gonna do this week. If you're gonna play Smash, if you're gonna play Kingdom Hearts, if you're gonna roast me in the comment section for whatever reason about my Sora fascination, whatever. Just, have a good time. Later.